Week 1 of the 2023 NFL football season is past us. Let's recap what happened. Detroit Lions versus Kansas City Chiefs. I expected this game to be a close game. I actually had the Chiefs winning by 1 point. The Lions actually won by 1 point in this game. What was glaringly obvious is the lack of offensive weapons the Kansas City Chiefs have. Even when Travis Kelce gets back and healthy, the one thing that I am still worried about is their lack of wide receiver talent. I know Travis Kelce is all world, but maybe trading for a wide receiver one is something the Kansas City Chiefs need to do this year. Cincinnati Bengals versus Cleveland Browns. I was totally wrong about this game. I thought both offenses would come out looking good. I thought both offenses would be able to move the ball up and down the field. The weather, that played a part into it. It was basically a torrential downpour the entire game, but that doesn't take away from the fact that the Cincinnati Bengals offense looked out of sync. They did not look good at all. I understand it's week 1. I'm not going to overreact on that. I mean, the Bengals, they're one of the most talented offenses in the league, so I'm not going to buy a whole bunch of stock into that. But, I mean, kudos to the Browns defense. The Browns defense got after them yesterday. It was just a beatdown from whenever the game started, 24-3. Houston Texans versus Baltimore Ravens. Like I said, this game was going to be a blowout. It was a blowout. It was a little bit closer than what I expected. It was actually, pretty close throughout the day whenever they were playing. Sucks for J.K. Dobbins tearing his Achilles. I think that was his injury. Would like to see more Odell targets yesterday, but, that's something that's probably going to develop as the season goes by. The Texans, I didn't expect anything out of the Texans this year. They're going to suck. C.J. Stroud, he's a rookie quarterback from Ohio State, which is a red flag. We're going to see how he turns out, but, the Houston Texans, they're going to be a miserable team this year, and I still have the Ravens winning their division. Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus Minnesota Vikings. A close game. I predicted this game being close because the Vikings, they always play down to their competition. To be fair, they also play up to their competition, but the Vikings, they're just a notorious fluky team. They lost this game 20-17. Shout out Baker for, marching into that stadium and stealing a win. Still think the Buccaneers are going to be miserable this year. They just are going to suck. But shout out Mike Evans, Mr. Consistent. Let's get that man in a Dallas Cowboys uniform next year. But yeah, the Buccaneers take this win 20-17. Carolina Panthers versus Atlanta Falcons. Not too much to say about this game. I think both teams are going to be pretty ass this year. Bryce Young, he struggled. His O-line is also very putrid. The Atlanta Falcons, the only thing I like about them is Bijan Robinson. I think he's a beast out of Texas. His very first NFL touchdown was very impressive. But yeah, not too much to say about this game. Atlanta covers the spread. They win 24-10. Arizona Cardinals versus Washington Commanders. What a miserable game. The only bright spot to this game is this is my first correct score prediction of the season. I predicted it being 20-16 Commanders. That's what it was. The Commanders, their pass rush is legit. That's about the only thing on that football team that I'm worried about. Their offense is putrid. But yeah, that defense, they do have a defense. Not too much to talk about this game. The Cardinals, they're going to be horrible this year. Hopefully Caleb Williams doesn't decide he wants to stay at USC, because the Cardinals, they're looking like they're going to be the number 1 overall pick this year. Jacksonville Jaguars versus Indianapolis Colts. Final score of 31-21. The Jags, they've handled business. The Colts, they kept it close for a little bit. I'm liking this Ridley and Trevor Lawrence connection. Ridley had a phenomenal game after being suspended for betting on games. As ironic as this is, it seems like every time a game is announced, or anytime they talk about games on ESPN or anything like that, they're always promoting gambling and betting. They're always showing what the over-unders are. They're always showing what the spreads are. But let a player bet on a game that has nothing to do with his game. and it's like, oh my gosh, he committed murder, let's hang him by the feet. So, I don't really like that, but I am liking this Jags team. Like I said, they're going to win their division because they're in one of the worst divisions in football. And the Jags, they are a nice team. I'm liking their offensive weapons. I'm liking Trevor Lawrence. So, yeah, they win this game 31-21. San Francisco 49ers versus Pittsburgh Steelers. This is the surprise of the week for me. I bought into all the Steelers hype this offseason. I was buying their stock. I was pumping their stock. And I got rug pulled, man. What a miserable showing. I can't remember the last time a Mike Tomlin coached team has just gotten embarrassed like that at home. I mean, this game was over whenever the 49ers stepped off the bus and walked into the stadium, man. 30-7, and I think it could have been even worse than that. This was just a mismatch. The Steelers' offense just looks horrible. I'm obviously expecting them to get better throughout the season, but man, I got rug pulled because I was buying Steelers stock. I was pumping that stock, and they just got mollywalked by the 49ers. So I'll say this is the surprise of the week from Tennessee Titans versus New Orleans Saints. What a miserably boring game to watch. It was a field goal fest. Jeez, man. I mean, I look at this game, and, it's almost like that thing where it's like, man, these defenses are legit. The Saints defense, they're legit. The Titans defense, they're legit. But are they legit, or is just the opposing team's offense just that ass, right? Don't get me started on the refs. The refs botched a couple calls, in my opinion. I'm not high on either of these quarterbacks. I think both quarterbacks are mid. I think Derek Carr might be a tier above mid. Tannehill, man, you gotta feel for the Titans. Tannehill, they've been trying to get away from him for a couple of years now. The quarterbacks they draft fucking suck. Just a miserable game to watch. Final score of 16-15. Jesus, man. I grew some gray hairs watching this game. Las Vegas Raiders versus Denver Broncos. Starting the season out with the onside kick is very ballsy of Sean Payton. I love the decision personally. It didn't work out for them. Both offenses struggled. I expected the offenses to be a little bit better this game, but it is a rivalry game, so it makes sense. Another 1-point game. The Raiders ended up taking this one 17-16. But, I mean, if you're just a casual sports fan, what a miserable game to watch. Not much of nothing happened, but a defensive battle, I'll tell you that. Philadelphia Eagles versus New England Patriots. Another game being played in a torrential downpour, so both offenses didn't look too good. We expect the Eagles' offense to be a lot better this year than what they showed on Sunday. The Eagles, they ended up surviving and winning 25-20. I thought this game was personally going to be a blowout. The Patriots, I mean, I guess they're just not the team to get blown out, being coached by Bill Belichick, so that was my mistake. The Eagles, they still covered the spread. But, yeah, just a miserable weather game. And Kayshon Boutte out of LSU, what a bonehead play by him, not being able to get both feet in on a pretty routine sideline catch. Yeah, he was pushed in the back by a defender to maybe push him out. But, dude, you got to get both feet down in that situation. For the game, to lose the game like that, no bueno. Los Angeles Rams versus Seattle Seahawks. What a surprise. I think this is also the surprise of the weekend for me. I had the Seattle Seahawks winning this game. They get blown out by the Rams. And did Geno Smith fool us last year? Is he back to same old Geno? Because he did not look good yesterday. I think Tutu Atwell for the Rams, I think he had more receiving yards than Geno Smith had passing yards. That's not a good look. The Rams, they definitely surprised me, but, I mean, they do have talent. Once Cooper Kupp comes back, they do have talent. I just don't trust Matthew Stafford to stay healthy the entire season. So, like I said, I could see this being a 5-7 win team. But kudos to them for coming into Seattle and making sort of a statement, beating them handily. Some of the Seattle Seahawks players were very frustrated. You see DK Metcalf with that cheap shot. So, yeah, just a frustrating game for the Seahawks. Kudos to the Rams. Geno Smith, he might have fooled us all. Miami Dolphins versus Los Angeles Chargers. Like I said, this is going to be the most exciting game of the week. It lived up to it. This game was electric. No pun for the Chargers. This game was electric. High flying, high scoring. The Dolphins, they look like they're the fastest team in the NFL with Tyreek and Waddle on the outside. Tua. Week 1 Tua. Anytime there's an opening day game, week 1 of every football season, bang Tua's over for passing yards. Even if it's 400 passing yards, bang it. He seems to show up early seasons of every season, man. 400 plus yards passing. Tyreek Hill with 200 plus receiving yards. Tua made some big time throws down the stretch. I mean, Justin Herbert, he also had himself a game. Austin Eckler had himself a game. This was the most exciting game of the season, of the early season, man. I don't see too many games topping this one just because it was so electric. But I see both of these teams being a force in the AFC if they stay healthy. I'm very high on both teams, and I could see Tyreek making a run at that MVP this season if he stays healthy, if he stays on pace. Green Bay Packers versus Chicago Bears. This was America's game of the week, ladies and gentlemen, and man, did the Packers jump on the Bears and get after them. The Bears, it's like, where do you start? Their offensive line looks shitty. Their defensive line looks shitty. I mean, I thought they got DJ Moore this offseason. Where was DJ Moore? He did not pop out on my screen like I expected him to. Justin Fields, we're quickly approaching bust territory with Justin Fields. How many more games? How many more years does he have to keep on showing us what he's showing us for the Bears to keep on underperforming and being ass for us to be like, maybe he's not an NFL quarterback, right? So just a miserable game if I'm a Bears fan. The Bears, they look horrible. They do not look good. I'm not even sure if I should put too much stock in the way the Packers played just because of who they played. So, yeah, this one's still up in the air. I still see the NFC North being a super mid-division. It's between the Packers, Lions, and Vikings maybe at this point. The Bears, you're out of contention for the playoffs week 1, guys. Y'all fucking suck. This is a poverty franchise. There's not too many things I could say to hurt you guys' feelings if you're a Bears fan, because your feelings should be hurt watching this team play on Sundays. Just miserable, guys. Utilize DJ Moore more. Like, you went out and spent the bread for him, spent the capital to get him. Utilize him. Like, put the ball in his hand. If I'm running tunnel screens all day to get him going, maybe do that. Because, man, this offense is miserable. So, yeah, Packers blow the Bears out 38-20. Dallas Cowboys versus New York Giants. The New York Little Giants getting embarrassed on their home field on Sunday Night Football, man. Football is officially back because this is just what the Cowboys do to the Giants. I haven't seen the Giants beat the Cowboys since 2016, I think it was. We just don't lose to the Giants. That's an easy 2 wins every season. I love Daniel Jones. I wish we could play Daniel Jones 17 games a season plus 3 games in the playoffs. I wish we played Daniel Jones every week because we would be undefeated. Daniel Jones is super mid. He stole money. Oh my, he is just bad. He is so bad, and I'm so glad that the Cowboys just got in his ass. 7+ sacks, I think it was. He had, that little first drive where he was running around a lot, and they thought they had something cooking. And what do? We block their field goal and take it back for 6 to start the game. Like, that's just basically the epitome of this quote-unquote rivalry. There is no rivalry. We're head and shoulders better than the Giants. They're the little Giants for a reason. They are so inferior to the Dallas Cowboys. Yes, the Giants, they're going to win 7 or 8 games this season. Yes, they might be in wild card contention because the NFC is just that weak this season. But they're just nowhere near the Dallas Cowboys, and you saw that in Sunday Night Football, 40-0. I had the Cowboys blowing out the Giants, but damn, I did not think it would be this bad. The Giants, just take your medicine, move on. You paid Daniel Jones, so you're going to have to deal with them for the next 3-4 years. Buffalo Bills versus New York Jets. Man, the storyline is going to be Aaron Rodgers tearing his Achilles, 4th play of the game. That's going to be the storyline. What are the Jets going to do? Are they going to go out and get a quarterback in free agency? Are they going to sign Cam Newton? Are they going to go after Carson Wentz? Who knows? Are they going to stick with Zach Wilson? Who knows? And then on the other side, you have Josh Allen just having an absolutely miserable game, a putrid game, throwing 3 interceptions. All those interceptions were brain-dead throws, all into double coverage, just forcing the ball. And then he has his own butt fumble. He runs into his own player, fumbles the ball. This game limps into overtime. And then you have a walk-off punt return touchdown from a hard-knock superstar. This guy, he was on the fringe of making the 53-man roster. He makes the roster, and he wins it for the Jets. But, yeah, the storyline of this game, Aaron Rodgers getting injured, of course. What are the Jets going to do? And then also, at this point, are we going to start whispering and talking about, is Josh Allen overrated? Seriously. What if Dak would have played like this? Ask that question to yourself. What if Dak would have played like this? What would the media have done? It would have been plastered all over your social medias, all over ESPN tomorrow. So, is Josh Allen overrated? That's the real question. If you made it to this point in the video, then you're either sexy as fuck, or you're a Jets or a Bills fan and you just skip to the end to see what I say about your teams. Either way, you watched this video, you clicked on, leave it a like, leave it a thumbs up. Go ahead and click that subscribe if you like my voice, and I'll see you in the next one.